Anne Murray's always prided herself by choosing the best songwriters and session players to aid her career, dating back to Snowbird, which she didn't write herself, but a great Canadian singer-songwriter put that together for her. But did you know that a lot of Anne Murray's success on the U.S. charts comes from the Beatles? No, John Lennon and Paul McCartney didn't write directly for her, but she covered Lennon McCartney and George Harrison songs into the 70s, early into the 1980s, and one of them was her fourth biggest hit of all time on the US charts. So today we're going to be talking directly about three of her Beatles covers that I know of. I know she released them as singles. She probably covered other of their songs in concert. And the first one, of course, it just ripped up the charts. You Won't See Me. Now, this song came out on Love Song, and just like the Lennon and McCartney original performance, a very up-tempo number, great lyrics, and Anne Murray does a great job in interpreting the mostly male-dominated aspect of the song. Now, the 1973 and 74 was a very weird time for Anne Murray. She was coming out of some good chart success with Danny's song, especially where that went top 7 on the U.S. charts. Now, You Won't See Me went as high as number 8 on the U.S. charts, but did well on the U.S. Adult Contemporary, where it was, I think, her fourth number 1 single. Now, in Australia, it went 49. New Zealand, it went top 13. And it didn't chart on the Canadian country chart, but on the Canadian what's called like the top 40 chart, it was top 5, and adult contemporary top 4, and it came from the album Love Song. Now, I think the Wanted to Strike when it was hot. This came out in early 1974, but she decided to cover Day Tripper, which didn't do as well. Now this her version is more like a jazz pop fusion, kind of a Joni Mitchell feel to it. And although the song doesn't really reflect the best aspects of her voice, you can feel the Beatles coming in. But the changing the she to the he and Anne Murray, basically, the overtones of the song, especially. He's a big teaser. He took me half the way there. You leave the connotations as it is, because there was rumors for years that Anne Murray enjoyed the company of men in college. I don't know if that's been confirmed, but like I said, it's kind of weird. She might have been singing from experience, according to certain of my direct sources. Now, the third big Beatles cover actually was a George Harrison song. And ironically, it was from A Hard Day's Night. I'm Happy Just to Dance with You. Actually, it went not too bad on the charts. From Somebody's Waiting. It was a very, very weird interpretation of that song, because George Harrison gave it a more of a kind of a dance feel, and this again in the Joni Mitchell, Anne Murray type of oeuvre, because Joni Mitchell and Anne Murray had their same type of different heavy production orchestration. Now, this came out in 1980, early 1980. It was considered a country song. It was top 10 Canadian country, 74th in Canada, number 1 on adult contemporary in Canada. On the U.S. country chart, it was 23rd. U.S. Billboard charts, 64th, and U.S. adult contemporary, it was top 13. So, I mean, all three versions of the songs are available on YouTube, and I think there's alternate versions as well, either from live albums or presentations. I want you to listen to it, and you can see me. That's considered a very key single cover song of the 1970s, because some female artists had covered the Beatles before Anne Murray, but she legitimized it. And there's photos out there as well. I guess she had a passing acquaintance with John Lennon. There's a very interesting photo of John Lennon and Anne Murray at the same party together. I don't know if it's a bar or not. So a little bit of fascinating part of pop history or pop country. But every person already knows that Elvis Presley considered Anne Murray one of his favorite singers, and Elton John once said, "I only know two things about Canada, is hockey and Anne Murray." So I mean, the queen of pop and the king of rock and roll kind of gave him the blessing. But Anne Murray was always considered a go-to artist for variety shows, for presentations. She even helped promote Atlantic Lottery back in the day when that first started. Of course, she went kind of pop country with a little good news there back in the day. And Anne Murray in concert has it has to be seen to believe one of the best shows ever by a Canadian artist. And Rita McNeil once said the best compliment she ever got is a reviewer said her concerts reminded her of the professionalism of Anne Murray. And Anne Murray is nothing but a professional artist. And like I said, whoever decided that she should cover the Beatles, which was a thing back then, but she covered it successfully, and people didn't see her as just a country artist. And she was covering songs again by Kenny Loggins and different other artists as well. She even covered the Monkees at one point. And let me tell you something, Daydream Believer, that was a big hit that went number one both Canada, States, and the U.S. on adult contemporary and country, and actually went top 12 in the States from I'll Always Love You. So, and she rarely charted in the UK, but that was one song that did chart. So Anne Murray, like I said, she's not everybody's cup of tea, but I mean she's our songbird, and she continues to have an impact. It's pretty well 7 decades now. So ladies and gentlemen, if you like what we're doing here, we're music tributes, and this week of Burton Cummings versus all the former Guess Who members that are not Randy Bachman or Bachman. Yeah, some idiot on the channel telling me how to pronounce either Randy Bachman or Bachman. If you're just coming on the channel to criticize the Canadian pronouncing a name, why don't you stay home? Like I said, Americans have been mispronouncing Canadian names for years. We pronounce it correctly, and to you it's a mistake. Bachman or Bachman or whatever. If they're a millionaire, shut up. Anyway, by the way, I never got invited to cover the Trump trial in the States this week because I'm too honest of a journalist, because I would be asking, how long you been a fuckface? So that would be the question. I would have been fired right away. So how is that for a Canadian cover? If Donald Trump is the worst of all time in his category, Anne Murray's one of the best. So don't bother with that Donald Trump stuff where you're right wing or left wing. Put on some Anne Murray. Feel the good vibes of Canadian music. Feel the good vibes of what she's provided from entertainment, and let's go from there. Have a good one. Bye.